Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madayaw, maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Our 2026 budget proposal builds on the outcomes of the previous year, addressing the significant budget reduction we faced while envisioning a path forward through fiscal discipline and strategic partnerships. I will now proceed to discuss the highlights of the 2026 proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President.
Right. Thank you, Comsec. And with that, we would recognize the Office of the Vice President to present their budget.
Thank you, the Honorable Sherwin Gatchalian, the Chairperson of the Committee on Finance of the House of the Senate of the Philippines. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madayaw, maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. The Office of the Vice President stands resolutely as a people's institution. Despite challenges, nothing has so far been insurmountable enough to take OVP off its track, derail its course, or completely incapacitate the institution and stop it from serving the interests of the people. The establishment of 10 OVP satellite offices and an extension office in Tondo, Manila has been pivotal in bringing the national government closer to underserved communities across the country with timely and significant government interventions. These offices enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of OVP services, ensuring that help reaches those who need it most. We request the Secretariat to play the AVP presentation prepared by the office. Kinsay tao na ako sa Secretary.
The OVP's Libreng Sakay bus was the answer. Libreng Sakay alleviates the financial burden on working Filipinos and gives them back a sense of comfort and safety.
Ay naku, napakalaking tulong ho. Napakalaking ginawa, especially sa mga estudyante pa rin. Katulad ko, meron akong high school. Mag-high school ngayon, nakasakay ng libre na.
Since 2022, the Libreng Sakay program has provided over 2.5 million free rides. This program gives a much-needed financial break to workers and students in key cities across the Philippines. The OVP launched the Janaza Kit initiative in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. This tailored support provides essential items for Islamic funeral rites. Ensuring cultural sensitivity is a cornerstone of our service, providing dignity during a time of grief.
Napakagandang inisyatibo ito ng ating BP. Ang kahalaga nito sa amin, mandatory po ito sa amin. Kahit walang-wala kami, dapat hanapin namin ng paraan para makabili lang kami ng ganito. Kaya kung may ganito na, ay naku, alhamdulillah, napakalaking tulong po sa amin. Kasi hindi na po kami maghihirap.
The successful delivery of OVP service was fueled by the courage of the men and women of the office, courage to be committed public servants working to ensure that all Filipinos experience government regardless of their proximity to the capital. Our 2026 budget proposal builds on the outcomes of the previous year, addressing the significant budget reduction we faced while envisioning a path forward through fiscal discipline and strategic partnerships. I will now proceed to discuss the highlights of the 2026 proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President. Good morning, everyone. Presenting the highlights and salient features of the OVP budget under fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program, or the NEP. The budget the Department of Budget and Management has recommended a budget of 902,895,000 for fiscal year 2026 vis-a-vis the 942,038,000 of the proposal of the Office of the Vice President. The amount recommended is 21.33 higher than the fiscal year 2025 budget as appropriated. The proposed budget will cover personal services or PS, maintenance and operating expenses or MOOE, and capital outlay. For the PS, the recommended budget for fiscal year 2026 is 212,538,000, which is 23.54% of the total budget. The amount is higher by 12.14% than the fiscal year 2025 PS level. Personal services cover salaries, benefits, and allowances of 162 filled positions. It also includes the special duty allowance for military and uniformed personnel and salary for non-permanent positions. The total proposed PS budget, including retirement and life insurance premiums or RLIP, is 212,538,000. For the MOOE, the recommended budget is 673,753,000, which is 74.62% of the total budget. The amount is based on the DBM Tier 1 MOOE level of 654,527,000, plus additional Tier 2 requests of 19,226,000 for the information and communication technology or ICT related expenses in line with the DICT endorsed Information Systems Strategic Plan or ISSP. The MOOE includes the allocations of the following: supplies and materials, as well as financial assistance subsidies, which are intended for goods and grants that will be directly received by the OVP target beneficiaries or clients. Travel and representation expenses to support the operational needs of the OVP in implementing its programs and projects, including its ceremonial and executive functions. And for the provisions of professional services and rent lease expenses to cover the service fees of contract of service personnel, IT-related consultancy services as per the ISSP, and the operational needs of OVP central and satellite offices. As for the capital outlay, the total budget is 1.84% of the total recommended budget, or equivalent to 16.6 million. The recommended capital outlay covers the procurement of various information and communication technology outlays consistent with the ISSP. By appropriation source, the amount under agency-specific budget is 889,236,000 and 13,695,000 under automatic appropriations for the RLIP. Of the total amount of 902,895,000 under the fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program, 275,183,000 or 30.5% is allotted for various goods and grants under socio-economic programs of the OVP, which will directly benefit Filipinos. This excludes the logistics and other costs which are necessary to implement the programs. This is presenting the comparative budget of the OVP from 2020 to 2025 under the GAA and 2026 under the NEP. So in 2020, the budget was 708,019,000. In 2021, the budget was 908,790,000. In 2022, the budget was 713,408,000. In 2023, the budget was 2,356,614,000. And in 2024, the budget was 1,885,462,000. In 2025, the budget was 744,146,000. And currently, for 2026, under the NEP, it's 902,895,000. So this is the chart, the graph of the comparative budget. Prior to fiscal year 2023, the OVP's budget ranged from 700 to 900 million, and it was only in fiscal year 2023 and 2024 that the budget exceeded 1 billion pesos, primarily due to increased allocations for financial assistance and subsidy to support the provision of medical and burial assistance. For fiscal year 2025, the OVP budget returned to its pre-2023 levels with 744,015,000 allocated for 2025. The same budget level is maintained under the proposed 2026 budget with adjustments for inflation, including the mandated salary increases. Since 2020, and even with higher budgets in 2023 and 2024, the OVP was able to maintain a high full-year budget utilization or obligation rate of at least 85.55% at the end year. Presented is the comparison between the 2025 and 2026 budgets under GAA and under NEP. The net increase of 158,749,000 is attributable to the following: personal services increase of 21,313,000 due to increase in number of field positions from 149 to 162, and the corresponding standard salary increases across all items. MOOE items with a total increase of 174,521,000 is for supplies and materials expenses. This is the increase in the provision for disaster relief and the rice programs, the financial assistance and subsidies for the Magnegosyo Taday program, the professional services, provision for existing contract of service personnel, the rent and lease expenses, and there is a reduction of 28,085,000 for representation expenses to partially support the requirement for PS. For capital outlay, there is a decrease in the amount of 39,796,000 in fiscal year 2026. In fiscal year 2026, included a lower portion for ICT equipment. In addition, fiscal year 2025 included budget for purchase of 4 motor vehicles and other machinery and equipment. There is also an increase in 2.7 million in retirement and life insurance premiums, which is mandatory under the GSIS contributions. So these are the accomplishments of the Office of the Vice President. As the second highest office in the land, the OVP aims to promote the welfare of every Filipino in line with its vision to create lasting impact on the lives of every Filipino people through its socio-economic programs and services.